Well, if you're trying to make the decision, should you move to Memphis, Tennessee, you want to know what are the pros, what are the cons, can we weigh them out? Is it something you should do? Is it something you should avoid? On this video, we're going to give it all to you. We're not going to sugarcoat it. We're going to give you our pros, and then you got to stick around to the end because we're going to give you the cons too. We're going to tell you the good things and the bad things about living here in the Bluff City, and we're about to get after that right now. What's up, everybody? I'm Jared Laster.
I'm Kris Goudy. I'm a realtor right here in Memphis.
We're here on the Moving to Memphis channel, and you know what we're doing here? This channel, all our videos are giving you the information that you're going to want if you're thinking about making a move here to Memphis. We're telling you, we're showing you, going around to all these different areas. That's what you're looking for. You want it from a lifelong Memphian and from the eyes of somebody who is new to the area like you may be. That's what we've got here on this channel, so make sure you get down there and subscribe and click the bell. That way you'll get notified when all these videos coming out. We've got them coming out every single week, and you definitely don't want to miss it. And if that is you really are thinking about making that move, you already know you're making the move, you got to take that just one step further. Kris, what do they got to do?
They got to reach out, Jared. They got to text us, call us, give us an email, send us your contact information. Let's schedule a Zoom. Let's get on there together and learn from each other and learn the goals that we're trying to accomplish with each other.
That's right. We want to work with you to help you get what you want. We're going to do that, but you got to reach out first. We can't help you if you don't reach out. So do that however you got to do it, and we'll keep you from singing the blues about your move to the Memphis area, y'all. And we're getting into the pros and cons of living in Memphis. We're going to start with the pros. We've got 8 pros that we're going to run you through here, and we've got, I think, 6 cons. And we're going to talk about all those and kind of guide you through all of that. And we'll see what you think. You definitely want to stick around for the cons. I know if you've been looking into it, you probably think of a lot of reasons why you like the area, but you don't know if you don't live here some of the cons. So we want to give you that. So stick around for those. And if you've got questions that we don't answer, some cons we didn't think of, some pros we didn't think of, make sure you leave that down in the comment for us. It'll help us out, help other people. And we may make another video about anything that you've got, so let us know down there in the comments. So Kris, let's get started with the pros. And the first one right off, Memphis, it is a big basketball town.
We love basketball here in the Bluff City. So you can't talk about Memphis without talking about the Memphis Grizzlies, right?
That's right.
Yep. Ja Morant, I love him. My favorite player maybe of all time, but we'll see. To be determined on that. And then of course we got to talk about the Memphis Tigers. Penny Hardaway's the coach. He's a lifelong Memphian. We've got a lot of pride in him and that Tiger team. So Memphis is a basketball town.
Yeah, and you got, like I said, you got 2 different options there. You got the Grizzlies,
pros and college.
You got the Tigers, and so yeah, whatever you want, you got their own basketball, and those are playing right there at the Forum.
They both play at the FedEx Forum. I've got season tickets to the Grizzlies. I try to catch as many Tigers games as possible. But we love basketball here in the Bluff City. Yeah,
so it's fun. Actually, I've been to several Grizzlies games. You go out there, you can hang out on Bill Street, go into the game, come back to Bill Street, hang out again afterwards. Yeah. You know, so
it's an experience, Jerry. It's not just basketball; it's the whole experience downtown.
All of it. It's good. It's a good time to be had. Yeah. But that's not the only thing. You know, here in Memphis, compared to a lot of other cities, is you've got a lot of outdoor things, activities, places to go, all kinds of stuff. So get into that. What are all the different things you can get outside, and where can you go here in Memphis?
So there's lots of parks in the area, Jared. One of my favorite ones is Shelby Farms, located out in Cordova, right off of Walnut Grove. It's a huge area, a large lake where you can do paddle boarding, fishing. They've got walking trails out there. So I like Shelby Farms. It's a great place to have a good time with your family. And then we've got some things local right here downtown. We've got the Tom Lee Park, which is being renovated right now. It's supposed to be one of the best riverfronts in the country when they get done.
Yeah, you can take that, and then right down here you've got the bridge going across the river. You can do the river walk straight across there.
Yeah, that's a cool experience. So you're walking across the Mississippi River, and you got a great view of downtown Memphis. You can see the Big M Bridge, which is the Hernando de Soto Bridge. So the Big River Walk is a cool experience. I recommend that to anyone visiting Memphis.
So Memphis did a really great job of taking advantage of all the river frontage that you've got here right along the Mississippi River with that, with the crossing, with the park here close to this area, and the other trails and things up by the Harbortown area.
Yeah, the Greensward, I believe is what they call it.
Greensward up there, which is, kind of on the northeast side of the town, not side of the city there, right next to the pyramid, which we'll talk about later.
Just north of downtown Memphis.
Yeah. So all that's there, all these things you can go check out all the time, and we've got the weather here that allows you to get out most of the year and enjoy that, which is nice. So speaking of that, getting down there on the river and the things that are going down there, not just that they're there all the time. Let's get into our next pro, which we have the big, really group of festivals here, all kinds of stuff going on, and that's Memphis in May. So what all is going on at Memphis in May?
So Memphis in May is a big deal in the Memphis area, right? We've got a month long of activities, some are great fun for families, for nightlife. It usually kicks off with Beale Street Music Fest, which is amazing. We got some great talent that comes in, big name draws that come to the concerts and put on a great show for us. There's usually 3 to 4 main stages, and you'll have 3 to 4 major shows going at once.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I've been down there just once. I've been to the Beale Street Music Fest. That was just, there's a lot of people that go to it.
There is.
But there's, like you said, that you can see different kinds of music, all different kinds of stuff going on there, and big name artists. So
yeah,
you can check all that out.
I'll give you a pro tip on the Memphis in May. You gotta wear the mud boots. All the girls got on the high mud waders because it's notorious to catch a rainstorm in the middle of those concerts.
And that the year that I came to it, that's what we were dealing with. That, and we got like the last cold front too, and it was cold, it was wet, but we still had a good time. Lots of good stuff down there.
In addition to the Beale Street Music Fest, you've got the World Championship Barbecue Contest. People come from all over the world here to compete and fight for that #1 trophy of the world's best barbecuer.
Yeah, Memphis is, I guess a big name in barbecue. So,
of course
to come to Memphis and get that, you're doing something right. So
that's right.
That's one I definitely need to go check out. Hadn't been to that one. So.
Yeah. That's fun. The people have their own little tent set up and trailers set up, and each little team is a party within itself. They've got their own spin on the barbecue. They've got their own atmosphere on their trailer or whatever, and it's fun to be had for all of that.
Yeah, so other than that, what else is going on? You got like the International Festival.
Yeah, the International Festival is pretty cool. So they'll select a country every year. It's always a different country, and we'll talk about some of their local traditions, what to expect from that country, what they do for the world, and things like that.
But maybe that's not, you're probably not going to go to that every year. Maybe you can't make it, or maybe you don't live right downtown. So there's some other things here in the area for you to do. You've got some of these everywhere, but here I think you've got a lot, especially on the next pro, which is shopping. You got a lot of different shopping options here, and when you look at the whole of the Memphis area. So starting out, if you want that kind of the traditional mall, you want a big mall that's got everything in there, you can have some fun. They've got some stuff at the front for kids to go along with the shopping. That's the Wolf Chase Mall.
Yeah.
That's out in Bartlett. So that's a nice one if you want kind of the higher end stores, and like you've got the Apple Store. What else is out there at Saddle Creek?
I think there's a Brooks Brothers, there's a Joseph Banks. I know I'm leaving a few out, so I don't want to.
Yeah, that's close to where they got the new Trader Joe's out that way.
Yeah, the new Trader Joe's. So that's located in Germantown. It's called the Saddle Creek Shopping Center. Lots of high-end stores there, and it's a good time. My wife's favorite area.
Yeah, and then really unique. Now, there are towns that have Bass Pro Shops. They have them all over the country. Yeah. Most places don't have them in the giant pyramid here, yeah. So I'm still kind of just blown away by that. Going in there and checking that out. It's crazy the kind of stuff in there. If you're coming to town and you're visiting, they've got a hotel in there too. You can stay.
Yeah, you can stay in the Bass Pro Shops in a pyramid.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. You can go all the way to the top. They've got an overlook. You get probably the best views of downtown and looking over the river and the bridges up there. It's pretty amazing. And it's a Bass Pro Shop. So that's a good option. And if you want to save a little money, just head down about 20-30 minutes from downtown. You can get down there to South Haven and the Tanger outlets. So all kinds of stuff down there.
Yeah, lots of stores down there, all the outlet stores. It's more of an outdoor shopping experience, so you're not, confined into a mall. But lots of deals there to be had, and I think can save you a little money, especially during school clothes and Christmas shopping. You got to check that out as well.
Yep, and I will say too, as far as the outdoor things, new developments, it's not right now, but out there towards Lakeland, Arlington, they've got the new one going up.
Yeah, the Lakeland district, I believe.
Some lake district.
Yeah, the Lake district.
We'll put it up here, make sure we get the name right. But yeah, they've got that going up. It's new. They just started working on it. We drove around there. You can see kind of where the progress is right now, but you can also see how much land they've cleared off. So that's going to be a huge deal out there. All kinds of mixed use things going in out there. So lots of shopping. Yep. Pretty much whatever you want, whatever kind of shopping you're looking for, you got it here in the Memphis area. Now our next pro is really important for just about everybody, and and it's just the great hospitals that we have here in Memphis, and especially for kids. You've got world-class, the best in the world cancer hospital here with St. Jude, and they take in people from all over the world. They come here, and you don't have to come out of pocket to pay for this. I mean, they take care of it for you. Now you've seen probably, they do the dream homes all around. They do that. They do fundraisers. I did, I may not look like it, but I did a 150-mile fundraiser for St. Jude riding a bike back in September, and I did hit that goal.
Nice.
Doing that. So
we have the St. Jude Marathon here in Memphis. We're a local marathon. Everybody donates.
So they do that to raise money so that, when kids, have to come in there, they don't have to worry about that. So it's a big deal, and it's not what this video is for. We're going to put a link. It's down there. If you want to go support St. Jude, you can definitely do that. But other than St. Jude, you've got other hospitals. You've got the Le Bonheur Children's Hospital as well. Yeah,
we've got the Le Bonheur Children's Hospital, which takes care, they only serve children. So broken arms, sports injuries, maybe need a few stitches, maybe not feeling so well. Le Bonheur is the place to go to take your kids. They're going to be well taken care of. And here through COVID, they've done a great job and just taking care of the kids in the area.
Yeah, and outside of that too, not just for kids, you've got the Baptist and the Methodist as well.
Right.
So that's good. Like I said, for everybody, you got great quality health care here, options available. If you're a doctor, or a nurse, you're looking for somewhere, you've got several different options in that field for you here to look into as well. So that's a big pro here for the area. And next up is one coming to the area that I did not really realize. I didn't think about this.
Yeah.
The Memphis is sitting right here on the Mississippi River, and obviously a lot of water here, but they don't get their water from that river.
No.
If you think they do, they don't get it from a reservoir somewhere. They actually have an aquifer here. So Kris was telling me how
the water aquifer here in Memphis is supposedly, I've always been told, we've got some of the cleanest water in the country here. I mean, we do everything we can to protect it. Basically, you've got a lot of sandy soil here, so when the rainstorms come through, the water kind of filters through that sand basin into the groundwater, and it kind of filters it.
Yeah, so I mean, I was actually, coming into Memphis, and drinking that tap water the first time. It tastes good, So I mean, to me anyway, it tastes good. It's clean.
One thing I noticed growing up is I was used to just grabbing a cup and filling it up with tap water and chugging it down. And as I went to travel throughout the United States and I would taste their tap water, it was always different. Definitely not as good as it is here in Memphis.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times you get a little chemically, the chlorine taste, and I don't taste anything like that here. Yeah. So good, clean, basically fresh spring water from an aquifer.
Yeah, look it up, the Memphis water aquifer. It's kind of a big deal. We're proud of it here in Memphis.
I'll find us a link and put that down in the description below. So next up too, and this is our last pro on our list here, which is just the mild winters we have. If you're used to having to deal with snow, you want to go out and shovel snow, you're dealing with feet of snow every year. We don't have to worry about that here.
No, not here. We may get 1-2 days of snow, but it's definitely not anything too big. And the weather, it gets cold, but for the most part, it's pretty mild.
Yeah, I mean, so it's not like, we say cold here, and then somebody from farther up north will tell you that's not cold, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it gets cold to us. We feel like it's cold, but it doesn't get nearly as cold as it does, again, New York, Chicago, up that part of the country. But it will get a little cold sometimes. You'll get the fronts that will really drop it down into like the teens and even below sometimes. But yeah,
it usually doesn't last too long, maybe a week at the most, and it kind of gets back up to hovering right around freezing.
Yeah, but that's actually going to be a good segue for us to jump into our cons, and we're going to give you all the cons. And on the flip side of the mild winters, first con, we do have some pretty hot and humid summers.
Yeah, so the summers are oppressive here in the Mid-South, especially during the months of July and August. The humidity, it's not the heat, it's the humidity, guys.
It's going to get you.
Yeah, it'll hold you down, and you got to keep a bottle of water with you and maybe a fresh shirt to switch out once or twice a day.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you walk out, if it's 85, that heat index can be 105. I mean, it can push up there, and that's what it feels like, and you start sweating as soon as you walk out the door. So you gotta run that AC if you're inside. If you can find a pool, get in that water. Almost nothing feels better than jumping in some nice cool water if you've been out in that heat all day.
Yeah.
But it's only like that for a little bit of the year.
No, 2 months. Maybe.
2 months, maybe 2.5 months that you're really dealing with that, and then you have the mild winters, you got the nice fall and spring, but you gotta get through that hot, humid part of the year. Another thing, weather-wise, our second con here is in that, especially kind of in the spring, when the weather's changing, you do get some storms coming through here. You get a lot of rain. You'll have some tornado warnings. Really don't have a lot of. I mean, it's pretty rare a tornado is coming through this area, but you will get. You said like some straight line winds.
Yeah, we'll have straight line winds. You'll get tornado warnings. You'll hear the sirens going off quite a bit. I'm not familiar of any that have really struck the inner city. It's more the straight line winds are a problem. And then further out north, really south of us in Mississippi, those are where the tornadoes tend to funnel to. But as far as in the Memphis area, the Memphis Metro area, tornadoes, we get the warnings. But there again, we hardly ever comes to fruition.
Yeah, and so with that, with the storms, you will get like a lot of rain, so you can get some flash flooding down here in the city, especially in the inner city part of Memphis. Yeah. You can get some flash flooding down there sometimes, and with a lot of the power lines being, how power lines above ground, that wind's gonna cause some issues.
Yeah, the inner city. So all those homes were constructed in the mid 40s and 50s, and a lot of the power lines are above ground. And now that we're 70 years later, you've got all these mature trees towering over the power lines. So as the storms come through, it knocks branches down and it knocks out the power. So yeah, power outages in East Memphis is a complaint by many. They don't last long. MLGNW does a great job of getting the power cut back on. I mean, you're not out of power for days, but sometimes it can last a day, maybe two. And that's pretty frustrating if you live in those areas.
Yeah, but now to kind of pivot away from the weather-related cons, because people expect that, and some of you know about the weather, but there's some other things going on here in Memphis, and a lot of cities have problems with this, but we do have some poverty-stricken areas here. Yeah. Where you do have the high crime. You've got some kind of food deserts. That kind of stuff is going on here, and it's things that the city is working on. They've got some different programs. Yeah. That are helping with that. Yeah,
they're working to improve it, but you've got poverty everywhere, but there's some really tough areas here in town, which we all working to support and to lift those guys up. The food deserts are a problem for them because they don't have access to fresh food. It's low income areas, and maybe the schools aren't the best in those areas, but Memphis is doing a great job to reach out to those people and lift them up as best as we can. We definitely want everybody to be on an even playing field.
Yeah, and with that, you get those, like you said, like you've got the program they do called the Fight the Blight.
Fight the Blight. So blight was becoming a problem in the inner city, and by blight I mean like boarded up houses, homes that need to be just leveled and taken out. They're so old and run down. So we're doing our best here in the inner city to get rid of some of the blight, and a lot of those areas have already turned over. I know, like the Crosstown project off of Watkins in the Fraser area, and off of North Jackson there. So that area is really up and coming, and used to have a lot of blighted properties, and now investors are coming in from all over the country, really, and flipping those houses and dressing them up, and it's become a nice, thriving area right now.
Yes, I mean, progress is being made, but
is.
it's a problem that we feel like we have to address because we're trying to give you all these cons. We're not sugarcoating it. We're giving you everything that we can to make you help you make the best decision. Coming here. But moving on from that one too, here in Memphis, you have some public transportation options in, and when I say, I mean downtown, but beyond that, there's really not any kind of public transportation for you.
Yeah, we have MATA, M-A-T-A, which is the Memphis Area Transit Authority. Their reach used to be a little broader than it is now. Now it's kind of confined just to pretty much the inner city, a little bigger than downtown now. It does cover the inner city, but Memphis is such a large metropolitan area. I mean, if you live out in the suburbs or out in the county, there's really no options for public transportation, so you gotta buy a car.
Yeah, you're pretty dependent on car. Now you can live, if you live down here, like around where we are today, we're in the South Bluffs district, so there's a lot of condos and things around here. There's the local little shops and little restaurants you can go to, so you can do it. This is kind of one of the more walkable areas.
It is.
But outside of this, you're gonna be pretty car dependent here. Now next is I don't feel like it's that bad, but we're going to talk about it. It's a con here, and that is the sales tax. It's 10%.
Yep, you got a 10% sales. It's right at 10%. I think it's 9 point something, but we'd say it's 10% sales tax.
Which that's a little bit on the higher end. I mean, I do want to remind people that you don't have any state income tax.
Yep.
And property taxes are pretty low, I mean, compared to a lot of other places.
They're reasonable. They're manageable.
I think they're pretty reasonable considering that you don't have. I mean that you don't have the income tax.
Yeah.
So looking at that, and then again, I make the comparison to some other states where they don't have an income tax. Usually they're sticking it to you pretty hard on the property tax.
Yeah.
But you don't.
Up the difference.
But you don't really have that here so much. So you have the sales tax here. Now, if you want to, Memphis is right on the line of Mississippi. And you got like the Tanger outlets we mentioned earlier that you can go shop at. You're already saving money at the outlets, and you can save it drops down to 7% down there for sales tax. So
taxes are a little cheaper in South Haven, North Mississippi, which is really one of the suburbs of Memphis, if we're being honest. But then also, and I think they do this in other parts of the country, we have the tax-free weekend once a year. That's usually right before school starts back. So that's a good time to load up for the kids and get all their school clothes and save that 10%.
Yeah, I like that you can live here, you can get the benefits of living in Tennessee.
Yeah.
But if you want to go get that 7%, you can, and then you've got those holidays as well. So there's ways around it, but it's something to think about though. Lastly here, this is kind of an interesting one that I thought, and he likes to call it jet fighters. It's a con here, and explain to me why you would call it jet fighters here on the interstate.
Here we have the I-240 loop, okay, and what that is, it's an interstate loop that pretty much surrounds the city. You can jump on it from anywhere and get to this part of the city in not much time. But the problem with it is it's a speed track, man. If you're not doing 85 miles an hour, they're running up on you. In my family, we have a little joke, we call them jet fighters, because if you're in the fast lane, if you're not doing 80 miles an hour, then they'll come up behind you and zoom around and right back in front of you. So we call them jet fighters.
Yeah, that makes me think of Talladega Nights and Ricky Bobby slingshot. They got slingshot.
Slingshot engaged.
Yeah, they do the slingshot move often. If you're not up to speed, they'll just slingshot right around you.
So y'all, I feel like that's a pretty good intro list here, pros and cons. There's obviously a lot more things that we're going to talk about and cover here on this channel if you're thinking about moving to the Memphis area. So again, you don't want to miss those things. We're going to get a lot deeper into a lot of these. So make sure you do hit that subscribe button and click the bell. That way you'll get notified when those videos come out. And again, if you are that person who is either seriously considering or you already know you're about to be making that move to the Memphis area, you got to reach out.
Yeah, reach out to us, guys. Give us a text. Call the number below. Drop your name in the comments. We want to talk to you. We want to start the process and teach you all that we know about Memphis and bring you to the community and be part of it.
That's right. We don't want you singing the blues when you're moving to the home of the blues. We want you to have a good experience. We want you to find the place you're gonna love and live where you're gonna love, and you're gonna love it when you get here. So y'all, thank y'all for watching this one. Don't miss those new videos coming out. We look forward to seeing you on the next one. This is the kind of stuff we're going to be doing to help you find out where you want to live. So you really should probably subscribe. I'm just throwing that out there to you.
Yeah. Pulling out all the stops to earn your business right here in
my
Memphis,
grown
Tennessee.
man riding a giraffe.
Yeah.
You should really call us.